Hey everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. In this video, I want to just take a quick look at R3. They recently made an announcement that they're going to use XRP in a big project that onboards 50 banks. And I really wanted to know more. In addition, there is another company that is in the banking industry that just dumped the IBM Hyperledger fabric for R3. So I want to see what is it that R3 is doing that is so interesting. And here we are going to first take a look at this ancient Roman goddess. She is Juno Moneta. She is the goddess or protector of funds. And this sculpture is in the Vatican Museum. It is from the 2nd century. And if you listen to the word association with moneta, you can very quickly see that that's where we get our word money or monetize from. And it relates to this company here called Moneta Go. It's a private company out of New York City. They were founded in 2014. They have an interesting service that is B2B for the fintech, specifically for banks, central banks, and financial institutions. It's got a person by the name of Jesse Chenard powering them as the CEO. And he made some recent announcements by getting some partners in India, some actually factoring exchanges in particular using the IBM Hyperledger Fabric technology. So it was one of the suites of tools that he provides that allowed those banks to mitigate their fraud, because 1 to 2% of all invoice financing globally is subject to fraud. And according to Mr. Chenard, it amounts to about $50 billion a year. So that was the solution he was trying to provide. And then we see that in November of 2018, he got another customer, and that was Swift India. And I think people started to really pay attention now. And with their expertise, they again were able to provide fraud mitigation for the solution of avoiding double financing. And his goal was to actually provide this service to all the banks in India. Well, just a couple of days ago, now, February 26, 2019, we learned that he is just dropping IBM and going to the R3 Corda enterprise. And this, I think, caught everybody by surprise. The reason why he cites are really two issues of leaving IBM's Hyperledger Fabric to join forces with R3's Corda. One is scalability, and secondly is the issue of privacy. So the Hyperledger network includes multiple private ledgers that are called channels. And with the help of these channels, members of the network can communicate with each other. With Corda, the nodes aren't able to see the ledger in its entirety, which make the network much more scalable and private. So you can see here that the privacy was that is what Corda emphasizes, was the driving factor behind their decision. And what happens to the clients that he had on the other platform? Well, he's going to roll everybody onto R3 eventually. So the question is, I'm sure on everybody's mind, will this company also use XRP as a settlement tool? Well, if we look all the way back to 2015, when this blockchain was just becoming a dream, if you will, because it was early on. The market cap was small. Wall Street was not paying attention to it at all. Moneta had the goal to actually be the umbrella for all the Bitcoin exchanges, what they called at that time, to provide liquidity. So he absolutely understands the advantages and how digital assets work. So we just have to watch this story carefully because it was just announced on the 26th that he is moving over to R3, Corda's technology. But I can tell you from what he tried to do in 2015, he is not shy of crypto assets at all. And then here we have an article from July 2018, and I'm sure this went under the radar. So there was a Swiss firm that wanted to shake up the money market. Can you believe that institutional money market transactions were primarily conducted over the phone still at this time? And this gentleman, who was with Credit Suisse before, was hired on to the firm called Instimatch. His name is Daniel Sandemeyer, and he is now the new head of this global company. And he had a vision to digitalize the Zurich-based firm so that their money market transactions could happen much more efficiently. Well, I think people just didn't pay attention until we saw this article on the 20th. Instimatch Global is testing R3's Corda settler platform using Ripple's XRP. So there we know that this is going to provide the high-speed platform necessary to execute these intraday trades. And using the Corda settler platform, it has the ability to settle high volume transactions. So it's got that scalability, over $1 billion US with XRP in this pilot program using 50 banks. So this is very exciting news, and I think that we are all looking forward to seeing how this develops. If we go to the R3 website, it is confirmed that the interbank trading and intraday markets is made possible with their trading interface. And coupling the D app with the latest settlement API, which is the R3 settler and XRP, R3 is able to offer that high speed of payments necessary for execution of intraday trades. There you go. So now you know a little bit of history, and you can see why so many people are gravitating towards R3. Here is the Instimatch team. Boy, do they not look ready for business or what? I can't wait to see how this pilot program goes. All right, and I just want everybody, when you see a headline, to really read through the lines. So here we have today, suspected crypto-fueled money laundering goes 10x in Japan. And then the same story, Japan police report that 98.3% of money laundering cases don't involve cryptocurrency. So depending on how you spin an article, the headline can be very misleading. And I just want to remind everybody to always read beyond the headlines. All right, let's go to the fluff. So do you have any idea what these are? Because it's very interesting. They are from the Edo period. The Edo period was from 1603 to 1868. There were at that time 300 regional daimyo. Daimyo are what sometimes are called warlords in English. And they were very loyal to the shogunate. They were responsible for the economic growth and strict social order within their domain. So this is an example of what's called scripts, or in Japanese it was called hansatsu. And it's a form of credit. and the different domains issued them and used them to supplement the coins. And the coins were sometimes silver, sometimes copper, sometimes gold, and even rice was used as currency. So these slips of paper, or hansatsu, would be equal to the face value of either that silver, copper, gold, or rice. And it was a way that the domains managed their economies. So they would adjust the amount in circulation, just like we see adjustment going on now by central banks. And the problem is that they were very risky. And the subject to risk was that if the daimyo was transferred, so the shogunate would transfer those daimyos to balance power all the time. If he saw a daimyo was getting too much power in one domain, he would then transfer him to another domain. Or if one domain wasn't being maximized in regards to their economic situation, he would transfer a daimyo in and out. So when daimyos were transferred or daimyos passed away, sometimes, and most of the time, these scripts or hansatsu would be null and void. You can imagine the problem that would create. But finally, in 1871, these were abolished when the Meiji government took over and they moved their government to a more open society and out of the shogunate rule. So today, I want to just give a little bit of a bonus to those people who have stayed with me all the way to the end. This is an Edo period coin, and actually I have a real one right here. And I'm going to give this away to the first person who writes in the comment section, what is the full name of the goddess who is in the Vatican Museum, who's the protector of funds. Just go ahead and write her name in the comment section. And should you be the first person to do it, I will send you this Edo period copper coin. It actually was minted in 1668. It's a imon. It's about 350 years old, and it's solid copper. And it was minted under the fourth shogun. His name was Letsuna. And I think it will be a fun treasure for somebody who has that answer. And I will then get your shipping address on the direct mail from my Twitter account. All right, everybody, good luck. Talk to you all soon. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.